All right, what's good all day, fam? So I'm gonna give you a clean, detailed breakdown of the Arizona Cardinals and the Dallas Cowboys game on Monday Night Football in Week 9. So plus a note, I wanted to explain why I couldn't watch the game live. I couldn't watch the game at all because of the streaming mess between YouTube and ESPN. So I mean, I don't really know too much what was going on, but I guess there's something. I don't know. Like I think there's a the contract ran out between ESPN and YouTube, and that they're both publicly blaming one another. I think ESPN or Disney. Well, ESPN is Disney. ESPN is Disney. Disney owns ESPN, but they are trying. I think they're trying to raise the prices or something like that with the agreement. They want more money, I guess, with the new agreement. And YouTube is saying pretty much that you're using your leverage to raise the prices, and that's going to trickle down to the subscribers. So this is it's a whole mess between them two. I don't know. Hopefully they can get a deal done, but YouTube is bigger than ESPN, much bigger than ESPN is going to lose out in the long run if they cannot get this situated, because YouTube is the world's largest streaming platform. YouTube is bigger than Netflix. You know what I'm saying? Google, first off, their parent company is bigger than ESPN's parent company. Disney is nowhere near as big as Google. Period. So, you know, it's dumb on Disney's end to try to freaking go to war straight, like I guess you can say go to contract war with YouTube, because they're not going to win at the end. They're not. Yeah, it at the end of the day, it makes any kind of sports league, professional sports league, it's gonna benefit that sports league more on YouTube for them to have their games on YouTube than it will be on ESPN. ESPN is probably going to be out the water. It's probably not even going to be a thing anymore. And the reason why I say that, because if you go on YouTube, you see so many media platforms on YouTube from so many different people. What I'm doing right now, I have 54 subscribers. My platform more than likely will grow the more of the quality content that I put out. You have players who are in NFL and who are retired NFL players who has over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. And so you don't have to go to ESPN or Fox or any of that stuff anymore to get recaps or get reviews. You go to YouTube to do that now. There is so much YouTube is huge. Podcast is unlimited podcast. There's unlimited podcasts on all sports platforms. The teams even have their own podcasts. So it's really dumb on ESPN's part, because I think what the NFL would probably end up doing, they could probably end up leaving ESPN, having Monday Night Football not be on this, and have it be on other platforms, or have it just have a contract with YouTube altogether, like the NFL already has Sunday Night Ticket. So ESPN can try to play hardball if they want to. They're going to end up losing at the end, because they already being replaced by streamers on YouTube already. So F ESPN. But you know, the final score breakdown was 27-17. This was way off from my prediction. I think I said the Cowboys was going to win 35-25. So I was way off. I thought the Cowboys could have been a little better. I thought the Cowboys was going to really come out there. That their offense was going to play great, but they didn't. I'm not surprised that the Cardinals put up 27 points, but I am surprised about how terrible the Cowboys offense performed. So the Cardinals, they snapped their 5-game losing streak and handed the Cowboys their first home loss of the season. The Cowboys defense got work. They allowed Arizona to score on 5 of the first 6 possessions, 3 touchdowns, 2 field goals. So the big plays, Jacoby Brissett, the backup corner for the Arizona Cardinals, who pretty much took Kyler Murray's starting job. Kyler Murray was another quarterback, I told you all, that was very overrated. I think everybody already knew that. I mean, nobody was really arguing that or trying to debate that Kyler Murray was any good in NFL. He's a great athlete, but his athleticism, his talent is not transitioning well into the NFL quarterback position. Jacoby Brissett, though, threw a touchdown to Marvin Harrison Jr., who finished with a career high of 96 yards. A career high of 96 yards for Marvin Harrison Jr., and he is midway through his second year. That's terrible. That's bad. Marvin Harrison Jr. had a career high of 96 yards. He hasn't even hit 100 yards. But 96 yards was his career high. And he had hit his career high from a backup quarterback of Jacoby Brissett. That speaks on the terrible leadership in the terrible play of Kyler Murray. I don't think Kyler Murray should ever get a shot ever again to be a starting quarterback. Maybe I shouldn't say ever, but I don't think he should get a shot, at least for a while, to get a starting position. Because if you have a wide receiver at the talent of a Marvin Harrison Jr. and that receiver has not even hit 100 yards. Come on, man. And then all the stuff he was saying when he was yelling at I forget that coach's name. He's with the Commanders now. But you yelling at him saying calm the F down, and you're saying to the media it's not my job to give Marvin Harrison Jr. the ball and all this other stuff. Bro, yes, it is your job to give Marvin Harrison Jr. the ball. That's why they drafted the damn dude. First round. It is your job. It's your job to figure something out because you weren't winning. So, yeah, I think it's a great thing that they benched him. I mean, because the Cardinals has a pretty talented team. And obviously, it was obvious that Kyler Murray was holding them back. If Kyler Murray was more than likely starting, they probably would have lost that game. Marvin Harrison Jr. looked phenomenal against the Cowboys. He ate up Trayvon Diggs. He ate up the Dallas Cowboys secondary. He had a nasty route. I forgot. I don't know who that defensive back was on. Like I said, I couldn't watch the game, but he had a nasty route on that defensive back. I saw the highlight so in the red zone, goal line position. So there, I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Arizona. I like the running back. I like Marvin Harrison. I was hoping that the Chargers probably could have caught him, but he didn't drop to the Chargers. And even if he did drop to the Chargers, I don't think the Chargers would have drafted him. I think they still would have went with Joe Alt. But it's a new era in Arizona, and hopefully Jacoby Brissett, he's going to have to not look back. He's going to have to really run away with this opportunity. He has a good talented team around him. He has a good coach. He's going to have to he cannot make a mistake, because if he does, they're going to go right back to Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray has like a huge contract with the Cardinals, so he's not going anywhere. He's at least going to be with the Cardinals for at least one more year. Unless the Cardinals want to eat it up and get rid of him, which I would do if I was the owner or the general manager, because I just would not want. I wouldn't want Kyler Murray as my franchise quarterback. I was never big on Kyler Murray. I never liked him. Now, you know what? I'm lying. In the days of Phillip Rivers' last days, when Phillip Rivers was really I was just done with Phillip Rivers. I wanted Phillip Rivers gone. When Kyler Murray was at Oklahoma, I was looking at Kyler Murray. I was hoping the Chargers. I was like, you know what? Maybe the Chargers can get Kyler Murray. I was hoping that. So I'm lying. But over time, I was like, yeah, Kyler Murray ain't it. I saw Kyler Murray's first few NFL games and everything. I was like, yeah, he's not it. I was not really that big on him after the aftermath of him getting drafted, So yeah, I was like, whatever. But anyway, let's just see here. The Cowboys defense got words. The Cowboys blocked a punt that went for a touchdown. One of the few bright spots for Dallas. Dallas had drives that stalled inside Arizona's 10-yard line. Opportunities that didn't convert. So they didn't convert on these opportunities. Marvin Harrison Jr.'s major stats and highlights. Marvin Harrison Jr. He had 7 catches for 96 yards. It was like I said, a career yard high for him. The Cardinals offense went over 300 yards in each of Brissett's 3 starts so far. That's phenomenal, man. That's literally showing Kyler Murray's the problem. Literally. Dallas's defense, they entered the game. They allowed points on 49.4% of opponent drives. Still held to the same trend this game. So Dallas' record now sits at 3-5-1 after this loss. And what this means for Arizona, this is a moral booster. Beating a high-profile team on the road gets momentum going. So Dallas was even at home. And they still couldn't get it done. For Dallas, the kind of game you must win at home if you want playoff talk. Instead, they lost this. So, what does it mean for the fans? even when you can't watch live because of broadcast issues, you can still dig into the tape and get the full story. That's what that means. So, I think that, let's see here. Let me see if I can pull up the drop. Let me see something real quick. I think, it's going to be interesting to see what is the Arizona Cardinals record? Let's see here. Okay. I'm gonna look at these drive-by drive highlights. I'm gonna give you the drive-by drive highlights. The first quarter. So the Cowboys opened the game with a strong start. A drive from their own 34 to inside Arizona's 10 in 6 plays. But they stall on 4th and goal at the 4-yard line. Prescott is sacked by Josh Sweat for a 7-yard loss. Dallas comes up with 0 points from the drive. Arizona answers with a 15-play, 60-yard drive, converting 4 third downs, one helped by a Dallas penalty. They settle for a 48-yard field goal. Cowboys were 0, Cardinals 3. So second quarter, Dallas punts from a deep territory. Arizona seizes excellent field position. Starting at the Dallas 47, they move quickly, completing multiple passes to Marvin Harrison Jr. That's what's up, man. He's cooking now. And Brissett punches it in on a 1-yard quarterback sneak. Cardinals got up 10-0. Cowboys got a spark via special teams, a block punt. Yeah, Cowboys, not Cardinals. Punt recovered in the end zone for a Dallas touchdown. Cowboys finally on the board, so it's like 10-7. Late in the half, Arizona drives again and scores a touchdown to go into the break. Up 17-7. Cowboys attempt a 68-yard field goal to tie, but it falls short. 68-yard field goal, wow. But they didn't make it anyways. Third quarter, opening possession of the half, Arizona hits a big play on the very first play, a 50-yard pass to Michael Wilson. 2 plays later, Brissett finds Trey McBride for a 12-yard touchdown. Cardinals pull further ahead. Dallas responds with a drive into the red zone but stalls. They settle for a 26-yard field goal. Cardinals answer with their own field goal on the next possession. Score is now 27-10. In the fourth quarter, early in the quarter, Dallas faces 4th and 3 around the Arizona 21. They go for it instead of the field goal. Prescott passes. CeeDee Lamb is broken up. That kills the comeback drive. Dallas does manage a 78-yard drive in 7 plays, late for a 5-yard touchdown pass to Ryan Flournoy, making it 27-17. But Arizona forces a fumble by Javonte Williams soon after, stopping the momentum. The game ends with that margin. All right, so Jacoby Brissett, he was 21 for 31, 261 yards, 2 touchdown passes, no interceptions. Also had a rushing touchdown on a sneak. That's pretty dope. Yeah, I'll give him a grade A for that. Wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. Like I said, I already said what his stats were. So the offensive conversion, Arizona converted 75% of red zone trips in third down, 54%. The defense, they held Dallas at 10 offensive points, excluding a special teams touchdown, forced turnovers, two fumbles, and big plays, sacks, and etc. So Dallas, their defense was pushing, but the Arizona was just their offensive power was too much. Dallas Cowboys, their offense, Dak Prescott was 24 for 39, 250 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He was sacked 5 times. CeeDee Lamb, he had 7 catches for 85 yards. And the overall offense for Dallas was 333 total yards, but just 33% red zone conversion. They didn't convert at all on 4th down, so they were 0 for 4. So Dallas' defense allowed big plays, struggled on 3rd down, surrendered long gains, and scores. So Arizona sees early momentum when Dallas failed to convert their opening red zone drive. From there, Arizona controlled tempo. Dallas had flashes, special teams touchdown, 1 late touchdown, but self-inflicted wounds, sacks, field conversions, turnovers cost them. Brissett stepped up in production from Harbinson Jr., helped shift the game. Dallas's touted offense was muted because their defense and special teams lapses built a hole. Yeah, because their defense and special teams lapses built a hole. The game shows how execution and situational football matter more than just big names and yardage. 100%, because that's what Dallas has. They have big names, got a lot of flashy players, stars like Trayvon Diggs. I never knew what the hype was on Trayvon Diggs. Never. Just because he had 10 picks doesn't mean he makes him a good corner. Interceptions doesn't make you a good corner. Interceptions and tackles doesn't make you a good corner. What makes you a good corner in my book, and this is speaking from a former corner, defensive back, I played free safety and cornerback. What makes you a good corner is the fact of the matter is that whoever you're defending doesn't catch the ball. And if they do, they get short yardage. I mean short yardage. And you're not giving up big plays. I don't care if you have safety help or no safety help. That's what makes you a good corner. What makes you a great corner, legendary corner, Hall of Fame, I won't say Hall of Fame, but legendary corner is that you are a shutdown corner. Shutdown corner is no matter who you're going up against, you're never giving up big plays. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is, and your receivers, no matter who you're going up against, they ain't getting no more than 50 yards a game. No more. No more than, I'll say no more than five. 5 catches, 50 yards is a bad game for you. If you're, that's how I look at it. It's a bad game. 5 catches, 50 yards. That's legendary Hall of Fame corner status right there. You know, so Trayvon Diggs gives that up all the time. You know, so I mean, that's why I was never really that big on Richard Sherman. Like I thought Richard Sherman was a really good corner, but I would never have put Richard Sherman in the same breath as Deion Sanders or Darrelle Revis or Champ Bailey or Todd Law, Chris McAllister, or those type of guys. I would never put him in the same breath of those guys. And I know I'm missing some. Even Nanani Ozawa in his days in Oakland, he's very, very overlooked. But Nanani Ozawa was really good in Oakland. You know, he fell off big time when he went to the Eagles. But that's because the Eagles, everybody kind of fell off when he went to the Eagles when Chip Kelly was there. But that's because, you know, the Eagles was calling a different defense than what Nanani was used to. But don't get me wrong, Richard Sherman was great. He was a great cornerback, but he was a product of that elite talent he had around him. I just honestly don't think that Richard Sherman, outside of that type of defensive scheme that he was playing in, even in San Francisco, that he would have been like. I never really. I put it like I never looked at Richard Sherman as a shutdown corner. I looked at Richard Sherman as a really good corner, very good corner. You know, yes, Hall of Fame. I think Richard Sherman could be a Hall of Famer, not first ballot, but when you're talking about like the elite shutdown, Nanami Ozawa in his Oakland days, Champ Bailey, Todd Law, obviously Darrelle Revis and Deion Sanders are the GOATs of cornerbacks. You know, so that's what I'm looking at. So no. But Trayvon Diggs, I don't even think he's even a good corner. You know, he got swag, he got style. He has pretty good ball skills, but you got it's more. It's more though. You got to have more than that. You know, for me to say you're a good corner. You know, so no. But anyway, what else? Yeah, and that's it. That's all I got to say about that. That's all I got to say. And you know, Dallas, they're inconsistent. That's the story of the Dallas Cowboys. They're inconsistent. Their owner, Jerry Jones. I won't blame the Cowboys' shortcomings on Jerry Jones. I used to, but I can't do that. I think that Jerry Jones isn't the coach. Now, he might as well be the coach because he micromanages everything. So that he probably could have something to do with that because he does micromanage everything. And the coach doesn't have the freedom to really coach how he wants to. But the Cowboys are just an inconsistent team, and they're going to have to – I don't know what the Cowboys are going to do. I really don't. And they're going to be the same old Cowboys every single year in, year out. They got rid of their best defensive player, Michael Parsons. Now he's in Green Bay. Now they did get a really good trade in Quentin Williams from the Jets. I think that was phenomenal. You know, so you know who you got. You got Quentin Williams, Kenny Clark, and you got those first round picks. So Dallas, their defense can definitely be a very dominant defense in years to come. They still won't be a dominant defense this year. You more good luck running the ball on them, but you know, and the fact that you know they got a really good defensive lineman. I think Quentin Williams is a defensive tackle, but like they got a guy who can really rush the passer, and he's not a pass rusher. So that's a dominant defensive lineman. When you got a defensive lineman that can rush the passer, Aaron Donald, and you're not a pass rusher, you're a defensive tackle. That's dangerous, man. That is dangerous. That's scary, and that's what Quentin Williams is. And so, you know, you can only imagine if he would have kept Michael Parsons, you know. But now they wouldn't have kept Kenny Clark, but you know, but he kept Michael Parsons with Quentin Williams. Oh my Lord, good luck with the quarterback, you know. But anyway, that's all I got, man. So the game wasn't much to watch. A lot of people missed that game. I missed the game. I was going on. I'm like, am I tripping? I know I watched Monday Night Football on YouTube TV. I was like, what's going on? You know, so I just kind of found out about this whole situation between ESPN and YouTube TV. But hopefully they can get it done or whatever. If they don't, maybe YouTube TV can just have an alternate route or alternate, you know, to this. But yeah, that's all I got right now. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll be back very, very soon. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and all day. Pieces.